Hello everyone. Have you all heard of the term doomscrolling? Now, I'm sure some of you have, and maybe most of you haven't, but it's a high probability that almost a huge portion of the population is doing this. Now, what is doomscrolling? Doomscrolling is basically the time you spend on your phone. It's the time you spend just flipping through reels or other short form videos, just browsing web pages and all that. It's basically the time you spend on your phone. Now, why is it termed in such a negative way, like doom scrolling? Well, it's because because it's come out that the reports have come out that most people spend 6 hours a day scrolling through their phones. Now, that's a big problem, because when you're scrolling through your phone that much, you're basically ignoring the outside world because you're looking at your screen, and that makes people less interactive, less personal. And I mean, it's the only way that works, because you don't have time to do any other stuff. And because of this, a lot of problems are now starting to arise, and one of the main problems is sleep. Now, I think most people before they go to sleep usually look at their phone doing something or the other, and that's a bit of a problem, because when you look at phone screens for that long right before going to sleep, that messes up your sleep patterns. Basically, you won't get proper sleep, and I think everyone knows that when you don't get proper sleep, the next day when you wake up, it's not really that great. I mean, you're not in a great mood or ready to do anything, and that's what happens when you don't get the proper sleep. And this also has long-term problems if you don't get enough sleep, like a lot of health issues and all that. But in the short term, that's the main thing, and everyone's doing it every day, so everyone's not getting enough sleep every day, and that's a big problem on a day-to-day basis. Now, the other thing is this term called vicarious trauma. Now, it means it's kind of like experiencing trauma secondhand from someone who's already had the trauma by being around them or talking to them or hearing about it. Now, how does this affected by doom scrolling? Well, because what we do on our phones is we use the internet. We see global events every day, everything that's happening everywhere. And as it turns out, every day there's always going to be something bad happening somewhere or the other. And so daily we'll get negative news about things all the time. I mean, you just have to open your phone and you'll get some news, and that's not really good for mental health. So we're getting constant feeds of bad things happening, and that really messes with the head and puts us in a negative mindset. And that's also another big problem. It also affects us in a big way. And this has become a huge problem now. I mean, even little kids are using their phones all the time, and they're being impacted as well. I mean, they're just learning about the world, and they're getting all this information rushed into them at such a young age, and I don't know how they're going to handle it. We don't know what'll happen. So we need to try, I personally feel like we need to try and fix this issue, because this is not good for anyone. And obviously, the best thing to do is cut your screen time. If you're using your phone for this many hours, try cutting them by 1 hour or 2, or as much as you can, honestly. And I know it's a big ask, because nowadays everyone uses their phones for everything. I mean, we are completely connected to the internet. We cannot survive without our phones, and yes, we do have to use our phones. But I'm saying, try to not use it for the unnecessary things, just for things that you don't actually need, or at least cut down on it. I mean, set up a specific time to do that, and the rest of the time, just do something else. Go out, talk to your friends, talk to your family, go watch a movie, play some sports or something. I mean, any other activity other than this. Because as we know, those things don't really affect it. Those things don't have any problem with people. If you do those things, there won't be much issue. And yeah, I really feel like this needs to stop, because come on, just when you go outside, everyone's on their phones all the time. When people are just walking, they're using their phones. When people are sitting next to each other, they're using their phones. Come on, this is too much. When people get together to just talk and do stuff, they're all also on their phones. Well then, what's the point of getting together if you're gonna be on your phones all the time? It's a serious issue, and we really need to do something about this before everyone becomes isolated and become complete loners who are fully addicted to their phones and don't want any personal interactions with each other. Because I feel like that's where this is all heading in the future.